Hey guys, I apologize in advance for the bad lighting you're currently experiencing on my channel, and I apologize for the bad background. But be assured, I promise you it is going to change. The lighting is going to change and the backdrop is going to change. But it's only what I have now, and I make do with what I have. And for the sake of the channel and for the sake of the content I am trying to get out to you guys, I want to help you destroy the meta and face any meta deck and how to destroy it. So stay tuned with the channel and watch the changes happen with me. Meta decks. We all hate meta decks, whether it's the Lava Loon or whether it's the Goblin Bait deck. We've seen them all and we hate them all. But I'm guessing the question we everyone ask ourselves is, how do we potentially counter decks like that? Well, allow me to acquaint you on how to easily counter any meta deck out there with the deck you are currently seeing on my screen. Now, I'm just going to throw it out there that positioning of units is crucial in any match you play. Knowing your opponent and what deck he is, and ultimately knowing where to position your units will determine the outcome of the battle. But with the deck you are seeing now, you've got a counter in the deck for each meta deck out there. So learn the deck that you see on the screen now and destroy any meta with this deck, guaranteed. Okay, first off, up against Royal Giant, Bomber, Wizard, Valkyrie. Four potential cards that hard counters my deck into the ground. This is just watch the gameplay over here. I'll demonstrate. So I start off with a battle ram at the back, just to see what he cycles out to, counter my battle ram. And already he cycles out the Valkyrie and the Wizard. And through my mind, I'm like, well, I guess this is game. So what I'm doing is potentially how you counter this deck with the Wizard, with the Valkyrie. You have to start placing your cards at the back of your tower and building up with a push at the bridge. So as you can see what I've done here, I've spawned my Firecracker at the back, potentially splitting my Royal recruits, so he has to defend both sides. And I know that he was low on elixir trying to defend on the right hand side, so he had to do something to defend on the left hand side, and he cycled out his bomber. So I just let the bomber go, and then I focus on the right hand side. I'm going to leave this Valkyrie go as well, and I misplaced the Bob Heart actually. Why did I say let the Valkyrie go? Well, just never mind. I guess I don't know my own replays. So I put down the Barbarian Hut. I misplaced it in the location where I placed it. Now I should have positioned it a tile upwards. So with that way, Hog Riders potentially coming in from the left-hand side of the bridge and coming in from the right-hand side of the bridge, the hut draws it in on the center. So as you can see, he gets a few hits off with the Royal Giant. It's not looking too good for us because we are far behind and he's way in the lead. But I've got a nice push going on the right-hand side. I predicted a fireball there, maybe for the musketeer or the knight or something, but I misjudged the prediction, but I actually took the tower on the right-hand side. So from here on out, we should just basically try and defend our position while still getting onslaught on the left-hand side, because potentially one Royal Giant push on the right-hand side and the tower is gone. So I placed the Barbarian Hut down. I predicted the Royal Giant, which he placed down, but unfortunately he had a Wizard backing up the Royal Giant. So potentially that just destroys my entire defense. He's got the Bomber, he's got the Valkyrie, he's got the Wizard, and there's nothing that I could have done in that position. I've done all I can, but I'm not going to try and defend it any further. So I placed down the Battle Ram on the left-hand side just to keep up the pressure and see what he has spawning out. He spawns out the Barbarian Horde. I position my Firecracker at the back to potentially get the Valkyrie as well on the chip damage. I didn't have my Barbarian Hut in cycle, and unfortunately I spent too much elixir on that push trying to defend the Valkyrie coming towards me. I put the Battle Ram at the bridge again, keeping on that spam. And at this point of the game, I knew that the defenses is going to be hard to break through. So ultimately, I went with a strategy of placing my firecracker behind my pushes so that I can get the chip damage on top of his tower, potentially winning the battle with all the chip damage. As you can see, I've got a firecracker hit on there. I spawn another firecracker at the back with my push, keeping my firecrackers alive as long as I can, because the firecrackers at this point is what's going to win us the game, and that is what I knew. So he spawns into my firecracker with the barbarian horde. It didn't work. He puts down the royal giant. I put down the barbarian hut so that it cannot get tower to our damage. It's critical that we cannot get any hits on our tower from here on out. I've got a nice push going on the left hand side, but of course he's going to place the wizard at the back. I fireball the wizard with a firecracker in the middle and potentially getting enough damage to put us in the lead. So from here on out, I just keep the pressure on, because if I can keep the pressure on, he cannot spawn that royal giant. And I know that royal giant is an irritating card to play against if you don't have like a tank destroyer card, like a P.E.K.K.A or a mini P.E.K.K.A. I've got another nice push going here. Fireball everything. Unfortunately, I missed the bomber, which is not ideal, but we've got two barbarian huts in the center. There's nothing he can do. The time is running out. We are going to win with a tiebreaker, all thanks to the firecrackers that we placed at the back of our pushes. And that is potentially how this deck works. If you cannot seem to push through with all the defenses he had, place your firecrackers at the back of your pushes. Ultimately, it will get enough chip damage for you to win the game. And it's as easy as that. We countered and defeated a royal giant player. Okay, so another disgusting deck to play against with would be the raged up elite barbarians. With no tank in our hand or nothing to even possibly distract the elite barbarians from, we should be at a disadvantage, right? But let's see how we actually deal with them. Remember guys, this is all about card placements and knowing where to place your cards. It doesn't matter what deck you are playing with at the end. Play what's most fun for you, but you should know ultimately positioning of your cards are crucial in this game, because you can use a level 11 or a level 12 card and most probably beat a level 13 card. It's all about your positioning and how you play your cards. But let's focus on the battle. He spawns mini P.E.K.K.A at the bridge. We've got the goblin gang in hand to potentially, get the one elixir advantage on that. And he's going to choose to leave that, so that's fine. We got some chip damage off the left and right. And, at this point, he's got giant. So what should come to mind is when any enemy, any opponent places a giant at the back of his king tower, he's ultimately trying to set up a bigger push. So with that in mind, I split my recruits at the bridge with 3 going left and 3 going right. This will force him to defend on the opposite lane, meaning he cannot put a push behind his giant. So I've got Barbarian Barrel to distract the Night Witch from all the chaotic spawns that she's doing. And again, he places the mini P.E.K.K.A and we place a goblin gang in the middle. He predicts it with a log and he does so pretty well, but unfortunately we spawned the goblin gang closer to the bridge, which forces the mini P.E.K.K.A to run towards my tower, ultimately being destroyed by all the chip damage from the tower. He puts down a tombstone there, and I choose to fireball it just to get some fireball value off of that. He comes in with another giant push at the bridge with a span. I've got my barbarian hut in cycle to distract the giant, ultimately using my barbarian barrel to distract the night witch as well. I position my firecracker towards the side so that the splash damage of the firecracker takes care of all the skeletons and the night witch herself. He predicts another log in the middle, and it wasn't such a good prediction from his side. He puts a tombstone in the middle. because he's starting to panic now. He doesn't know how to defend this, and he ultimately has to cycle his elite barbarians. He's got nothing to defend on the right-hand lane. He puts down a mini P.E.K.K.A, which is not ideal. I put down the barbarian hut in the center. There's nothing he can do about this. We're going to walk away with a 1 crown victory. Right, so potentially another meta deck that we all hate is the Lava Loon, classical Lava Loon. So what I do is I always start with splitting my archers at the back, because that's, if you have any other card to play, just split your archers at the back. That's always a good option to do. He comes towards me with his baby dragon, and I choose to position the firecracker at the back. But now I do not have cards to defend with this balloon, so I am forced to spend out my 7 elixir barbarian hut. It wasn't the ideal card to play there, but I had no other choice. My firecracker goes down the lane single-handedly, and because she was positioned on the right-hand side of my tower, she couldn't activate the king tower on the opposite lane. So he comes towards me with a mega minion, and at this point I know that we are playing against a Lava Loon deck. He positions his Lava Loon at the back, and this is what I said in the previous video, that when any enemy decides to put a tank unit behind his king tower, you should know he's coming in with a big push. He's lining up a big push to take your tower. So you should always spawn your recruits at that given moment at the bridge, because this will force him to spend elixir to actually defend, which will nullify the fact that he cannot put a push behind his tanks. So we're doing some decent amount of chip damage on the left-hand side. I'm leaving the baby dragon go on the right-hand side because potentially I don't want to spend out more elixir, because at this point I know we are evenly spent on elixir. So I'm going to wait for my elixir to charge back up again and potentially cycle out my battle ram at the back. So why did I cycle it out at the back? It's because I want to see what cards he's going to play and potentially get him out of cycle to play a card. And at this given point, he's just given up the battle because he knows there's nothing he can do about this. The Royal recruit power is just too much for him to actually digest with his deck. So ultimately, he just gave up. We take the 3 crown victory, and that's as easy as 1, 2, 3. So we're jumping into a live battle. And immediately at the start, this is not the ideal hand we want. So I'm just going to go with the goblin. Oh, he goes with the barbarian barrel. What did I say, barbarian barrel? I meant the goblin barrel. What's wrong with me? Okay, so he's got some kind of bait deck going on. So he's got the princess in there as well, perhaps. The rascals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my archers here. I want to keep the fireball for the princess, potentially. So here's to hoping he's going to cycle it out. I'm going to place my recruits at the bridge. There is the princess. I'm going to fireball the princess to get some chip damage off there. He's going to respond to the goblin barrel. I'm just going to put the goblin gang on the center of the barrel. We get some few chip damage off of it, but it's not really ideal. It should take care of the dart goblin, the black goblin, dart goblin, black goblin. I forgot what that card is named. And let's see what else he has in store for us. So let's respond with a battle ram at the back, just because I potentially want to keep my barbarian hut. And okay, I'm going to respond to the firecracker on the side, and I'm going to respond with recruits at the bridge for the prince. It's not the ideal move, but what can you do? And I just cycled out my barbarian barrel, which again also it's not really ideal. I'm going to place the goblin gang there, hopefully catching it, but I did not. Okay, so let's start with the barbarian hut. Seeing as we are in 2 times elixir now, we should be in an advantage. going to start off slow with a firecracker to the side. Then I'm going to put the recruits at the bridge. And he just rockets that like a boss. Okay, let's respond to him with a battle ram. And we're getting some chip damage to the sides. I'm going to fireball that as well. Then I'm coming in with the recruits. Coming in the bar barrel. Gets a few damages on us, but it's nothing too hectic. I'm responding with a battle ram to the side. With a firecracker to the side. The firecracker should also get some chip damage on as well, which is what we want to see here. And the fireball, oh, never mind, the archers finishes that off. I did a mistake there by cycling out my barbarian barrel. It got a few chip damage off of us on the left-hand tower, but ultimately we won that battle easily. So I hope you guys enjoyed the videos. I hope you guys have learned something new from what I've displayed with you. Leave your questions in the comment section below and I'll be happy to help you out with deck improvements or anything for that matter. Cheers, guys. In the future ahead, I am going to actually change my lighting. I am actually going to change my backdrop, but for the sake of this channel and for the sake of helping you guys out there to destroy the meta, this channel is ideal for countering the meta. So I want to get the videos out. I want to get this the change. But for the sake of this video, to get it out there, I want to help you guys to destroy the meta out there. So it's just something fun.